Okay, so this tweet blew up over the weekend. Again, you can kind of see the responses here. This person says, not me rating a content creator I look up to, only to get, quote, thank you for the raid, and like zero other engagement when I had half her viewers and felt like I was supporting her. Let's before we get outraged, again, we're spoiling ourselves by looking at the responses here. I'm trying to zoom in to block them out here. Okay, so before we like just start repeating what everyone else has said in order to get engagements, like, okay, let's just stop. You know, like, just before you feel the need to like go and dunk on someone that you don't even know, you've never heard of them before, and you just see a tweet and you're like, you know what, let me do a dunking in order to get my daily dose of engagement. Before we go to that level, like, let's think about what's being said here, because a lot of the responses I saw weren't even like, streamer Twitter did a very Twitter thing, which was like extrapolating context and interpretations that weren't there. There were people that were literally saying I disagree, and they keep parroting the you know, don't expect anything, you know, you're not entitled to anything, you know, they keep parroting these talking points over and over again. A lot of people were like, you know, oh yeah, well, you know, you like, this is not like raid etiquette, whatever, like you don't need to expect any response when you raid. I'm just like, what? This person is not telling anyone how to act, not telling anyone how to do things, how to run their stream, how to handle raids. Like, this devolved into like a conversation about raid etiquette, and this person is, now this is how I'm interpreting the tweet. All right, so you guys can tell me, maybe you're interpreting the tweet differently. And again, I don't know this person, and generally when I don't know someone, I try to be charitable with the interpretation, because I have personally experienced time and time and time and time again of people being very uncharitable, who come by and just want to like dunk on me for something that I said, and they don't know me and they don't know my background, and then I have to come onto Twitch and actually explain everything that I said. And you know, it just is not a great, it's not a great environment to be in. You know, it's not a great time to be like the villain of the day. To me, I read this tweet and I saw that this person was disappointed by a reaction from someone they look up to. And that's all. They were tweeting at 10:30 at night. They just finished their stream. They're just tweeting, you know, a little bit of disappointment at the end of their day. And this tweet has somehow 300 replies, 200 quote tweets of just mostly just toxicity. With all due respect, what else do you expect? Isn't the whole point of a raid to show support? What else can they do besides a thank you? If you support someone only if they acknowledge your support, you aren't supporting them, you're advertising. You support someone only if they acknowledge your support. See, like, this is where I get a little lost, because I would wager, like, I would put money down on this take, that the majority of these people who say that, oh, don't expect anything, like, just be lucky you got a thank you, I would wager that the majority of these people, if they raided someone and they got no response on their raid, no acknowledgement on their raid, I would wager that they would never raid that person again, and that they would probably feel a little miffed about it. Now, before we get into an argument, you say, well, they got a thank you, so they did get something. Yes, but what you're saying is just that you're raiding only to support someone else and you don't need a thank you back. This is what a lot of people are saying, is you don't need anything back. You're just raiding out and you don't care if people say thank you or not. And I don't agree. I would challenge that perspective. I actually think that people do expect a thank you. I think there's a lot of people who expect a shout out. I think that there's some basic level of expectations when you raid someone else that's not unreasonable. And I think that in terms of this tweet, if you are trying to raid up to someone that you admire, that you like look up to, like you enjoy their content, you look up to them, and you just get a thank you, you just thank you, and they move on. Like, yeah, just like that's kind of like a bummer, right? Like this is someone that maybe you idolize to some degree, and you're just hoping to make a connection. Like you're hoping that they would maybe say something to your viewers, or like tell them about like themselves, or like a normal raid reaction that most people do and get. Like I think when you have like a baseline of what happens when you get raided and that doesn't happen, like yeah, you're gonna feel a little bummed about it. Like it's gonna kind of feel a little bit bad. This person is like literally just saying, like just tweeting their own personal thoughts about a personal story, and people have like just taken it and run with it. It's just weird. I mean, it's just weird. Like like people have turned it into lessons about rating, about what to do and what to expect, and it's kind of ironic because while they're like saying like don't tell people how to run their streams, they're also exactly telling people how to run their streams. If this person raids and they don't get a response that they like, then that's within their right to never raid them again. And that's your right too as a creator. You can do that as well in your own streams, and I bet you do. If you don't get a raid response you like, this person just said their own experience out loud, and somehow they're a villain for that. I just don't understand that. Let's look at some of the quotes here. If you expect anything from someone you raid, you should probably think long and hard about what it means to be a streamer. Don't be like this, expecting anything from them. It just shows more about you than their so-called lack of appreciation. Their so-called lack of appreciation? They didn't even say lack of appreciation. So you can't so-call anything. Like, they didn't call that. What? Like, again, I think most people would actually have a bad experience if they raided someone who did not say anything. Rating has existed on Twitch since before Twitch had a rating tool, and it's always been about community and mutual support. The idea is very simple. After your stream, you send your community to someone that you vouch for and that they're gonna have a good time with. And the goal is to support that creator, right? That's really ultimately the goal, is to support that creator. It doesn't really do, it does a little bit for you as the raider to go and raid, but ultimately it is a show of support. Now, if I raid someone and they, if they don't take the time to like, explain what they're doing on stream, or like think about, I just got raided earlier in the stream, right? What did I do? I stopped what I was doing. I welcomed in the viewers. I said who I am and what I do. What were you up to today? How was your stream? I mean, Kaiser raided and, she had to bounce. So didn't get to have that part of the conversation, but welcome on in. This is what we're doing. Catch you up to speed. Like, if you don't do anything, then you're actually not doing a good job of receiving a raid. And so, I mean, not only is it kind of like uncomfortable to like not really have a good engagement when someone raids, but it's also just like not a good experience for the viewers that you sent over as well. Like, it's not. So if this is your attitude and then you're not acknowledging raids, you're just not going to end up getting raids. Like, the point gets proven because people who poorly receive raids don't get raids, because you should not poorly receive a raid, aka lack of acknowledgement. And also, all these people that say don't expect anything do expect things from a raid, and then they get a bad experience and then they don't raid that person. This is guaranteed 100% to be true, because we see people complain all the time about raiding people and then they got mad. So should we go to those tweets and be like, well, don't expect anything from a raid? Raids are free advertising. it's not really like as someone that's raiding out, it's not really doing much for me. I'm not gonna get many follows, if any, when I go and raid. Most people, when they see a raid come in, they're not like, oh, I need to go follow the streamer just because they got raided. What actually makes for a good conversion is if the recipient of the raid does say, hey, go check out this person, this is the type of content they make. But it really takes a lot of like selling from the recipient's end on that person who just raided in order for it to have some measurable level of conversion, and it's really not that good usually. Again, this person like wasn't requesting like a list of things to do. Like she wasn't outraged, like just simply expressing a level of discouragement. And I feel like after this, like, how can you not only be more discouraged by the streaming community? Like, to me, this is just so inappropriate to react in this way. It's just like, it's toxic. It is toxic to dogpile on someone who is not, like, not even giving advice to other creators, not telling other creators what to do. And the interpretations are weird. Like, it's just like, as someone that mostly only says thank you to raids, this is a straightforward version of networking I tend to avoid. People of differing personalities express gratitude in different ways. I will occasionally say it a bit more to people I know, but I refuse to be disingenuous. This is a straightforward version of networking I tend to avoid? What? I'm just like, where is this coming from? Like, what are we, like, where are we getting from here? I don't understand this connection. It's disingenuous to say thank you to people who support you. Like I feel like we have it backwards here. If someone does something nice for me that they did not have to do, that benefited me, then maybe I don't have to. I'm not contractually obligated to say thank you and express a level of gratitude that's like is appropriate, but like I'm going to, because that's nice. Like again, like what is what point are we making here? What is the point that's being made? That ignoring raids is fine? Like I don't think ignoring raids is fine. I think that it is a courtesy and it makes for a good raid situation if you thank the person, like acknowledge the viewers, catch the new people up. If you don't even acknowledge the new viewers that come in and say, this is what we're doing, this is where we're at, this is the kind of, like, you're not even acknowledge, like, and so this is where it required looking at more of the context of the situation and looking at more of the responses. And, you know, the original poster kept saying over and over again of like, you know, they didn't even acknowledge my viewers. They didn't, like, you know, I just want them to like catch up with who they are and like what they're doing and stuff. And, you know, just like, again, very basic requests. It seems like it's not like they're requesting like a whole show with alerts and, you know, the recent stream clip that plays on stream that is like very over the top. I think people should be shunned for raiding. If someone says good morning to me, it's a type of networking that I don't engage with, so I say nothing back. What? I don't know what you're trying to say. I think at least passive participation in the raid process is good Twitch etiquette. Yes. I don't know. I don't think that no one owes you a thing is the right take here. No one owes you a thing. If someone like drops $20 out of their wallet and I go and I pick it up and I go and give it to them and they don't say anything, or I go and hold the door open for someone and they don't say anything, like, is the response to be like, no one owes you a thing? No, it's not, right? It's like, you probably are expecting a thank you. You're probably expecting like not like a thanks. Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, you know, if you drop $20, oh my gosh, thanks. You could have just kept that. You could have kept that $20 to yourself. You could have given that $20 to someone else. But you chose to give me your $20. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I guess no one owes you a thing, but at the same time, it costs nothing to be nice. Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, like, in terms of getting, like, the raid back, maybe, right? Like, I would say the response is, you know, don't expect a return raid. Like, that's fair. But to say, like, no one owes you anything, it's like, well, I mean, you know, you did something nice for someone, and, like, you know, you're hoping to get, like, at least, you know, a thank you, what's up, like, what's your stream, especially if you rated that person for the first time. Like, that's just like a very cold way to, if you are receiving a raid from a new person and you don't, like, acknowledge them. I think if this tweet was posed differently, people would totally understand and be like, oh yeah, that's messed up. Like, I rated someone for the first time and they gave a like a cold thank you, and that's it. I think people would be like, oh man, that feels like a bad interaction. Like, they realistically should have, like, introduced themselves or said, hey, like, thanks, you rated with a good amount of viewers. So that's another thing people were picking apart. People were picking apart when I had half her viewers and felt like I was supporting her. People were like, well, this shows you only care about, like, viewers and superficial things because you mentioned I had half her viewers. I don't know. Twitter has, like, a very strange habit. People on Twitter have a very strange habit of, like, interpreting the worst possible version of everything that someone says. To me, I interpreted this as, like, it was a meaty raid. It was a raid that was, like, worth of acknowledgement. And I felt like, you know, I was raiding this person I looked up to, you know, thought I was, like, making an impact. It's just weird to me that they view people raiding as them wanting something from you instead of them doing something nice. Who is they? Because I don't think this person was, like, I think they were doing something nice, but, like, when you do something nice, you do, like, getting gratitude and in return is kind of a norm in society when you do something nice. Like, no, you don't have to, like, expect or demand, like, a level of gratitude. But it's clear that the response was not matched with the gifts, right? Like, if someone gave me $100 and I was just like, thanks, like, that viewer would probably feel pretty bad. You know, it probably would not feel great. Oh, thanks. Like, that person just gave me $100. If someone gave me $1, then I'm probably yelling at them because they're probably doing it to troll me with text-to-speech. And then I will yell at them. So that's kind of here. It's a misalignment of the gift versus the expression of appreciation. It's a very normal thing that happens in society when you give a level of gift and you don't get the level of gratitude back. And it does feel bad. This is a very normal situation that we have somehow twisted into a very weird and vilifying situation. I just don't understand this. I feel that we've gone a little far from treating people like human. Again, I don't know this person and I won't defend everything they said. You know, like, they have expressed frustration about this person. I think they said something that they unfollowed. They followed up and said, y'all are taking the fact that she said thanks too far. I'm sure y'all would prefer a thank you instead of a thanks too. And yeah, I think most people would. This was tweeted at 10 o'clock at night. The next day, they end up saying, I'm not going to support a streamer who's not engaging or grateful and is just in it for the money. The fact that she wasn't even interacting with chat. I'm a different type of streamer than her, and it just clearly wasn't the best fit to take my community. This is fair to criticize. Like, I can't tell if this person is generalizing, like, I'm not going to support a streamer who does these things, and this person was doing some of these things. But, you know, saying that it's just in it for the money, like, again, that's pretty uncharitable. So that's fair to be critical of. Again, I don't know this person, so I don't know their tone. I don't know their intentions. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And that's why I try not to, you know, go and harass someone that I just don't know enough about. She's overly generalizing that person. Like, yeah, maybe. But this also, this is not, so people are bringing this up as like, well, this is what they did. this is what they said, so clearly they're just they're like, this is bad, so everything that we say is valid, which I don't agree with. I think if you want to pick this apart and go like discuss this part, that's totally fine. Go for it. But this was not the central part of the discourse. No. It was this. It was this comment, this part of the discourse. This is the part that I would like to engage in because that's what everyone else did for their engagement. So I'm going to do the same. That's the topic of the conversation. Why am I making the tweet in the first place? Because it's Twitter, and like the whole goal of Twitter back before it became this hellhole is just to like share your thoughts. It's like you just tweet a thought. Back then you can only have like what, like 160 characters, 140 characters, and they doubled it to 280. Again, even at 280, it's not enough to put full context into what you're thinking and feeling. It's just like, it was a fleeting thought. It was just like, okay, yeah. Like, they have 1,000 freaking followers, guys. Like, they're not like trying to make a statement. I think that's a weird response too. Like, literally I had people under my tweet be like, well, like, why did they tweet that in the first place? Why even say that? It's like, because you're allowed to just say your own thoughts in your own space. Like, what do you mean? People were mad that they were blocking people that disagreed with them. It's like, well, this person's getting harassed by hundreds of people. Like, they're probably feeling sick with anxiety and just want to have like some peace. Nowhere in this tweet are they asking for advice. They're asking for opinion. They're certainly not consulting the court of streamer Twitter, because if they had, they wouldn't have tweeted such a outrageous comment. Who are you guys to be the judge and jury of who gets what's allowed to be said out loud in your own personal channel? Kirk Black was beating himself up a few weeks ago because he forgot to thank a raider. I assumed he was just absorbed in a game at the moment. Yeah, I mean, that happens. That's fine. Like, again, we don't need to crucify people who, like, you know, I miss raids too, and I definitely feel bad. Like, that's fine. Again, nowhere is this saying like any sort of commentary of what's required to receive a raid or to do a raid or to anything. Like, this poor person is just tweeting their own thoughts in their own space. I just think it's just vicious. It's over the top. It's indefensible. Yeah, you can counter and say, oh yeah, well, you can, like, I can say whatever I want because this person's tweeting publicly, and it's like, cool, yeah, say whatever you want, but if it's negative, you're just being a bully, you know? Like, isn't there a saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it? Anyways, I'm not gonna belabor the point. I think y'all get it, but Twitter's a mess. Like, all I really want to get across here is, again, I'm not saying this person is 100% right or 100% wrong. I'm just trying to get people to be a little bit more charitable before they go on a dunk fest. And again, I know that's not going to happen because it is a battle for engagement, and hot takes and dunking gives engagement. So I know it's not going to change, but I'm going to say something when it's just wrong. It's just wrong what people are doing, and I don't want anyone to think that what's happening is right. It's not. It's not okay. It's not okay to, like, be mean. I think people need a reality check and, like, just calm down. Just relax. Like, just chill. Like, just don't say anything. Like, just move on.